But it better be
Cloud.
really,
No, you let me give
really
my
good.
case, and then you get your chance to respond. Okay?
If that's how you want to do it, fine.
Because all it will take is just to read what I said and what you said from Telegram. Here's what it says in the document.
That's all it needs. That's all it needs.
Yep. It starts out with here's Flibbr, and he says he makes a picture of a bunch of graphs showing returns that along with BTC, and he says merge dominance. Hey, Flibbr, let me quote you. No.
No, you're factually incorrect. You are factually incorrect. So you must
see.
Stop.
You want no. This is bullshit.
No. Because you are If you're going to recite it, fine, but don't recite it being factually incorrect. Okay? I did not post a graph in the chart showing returns. What I actually showed was put a graph in the chart showing correlation.
No, they were different graphs showing returns of different coins.
Yes,
and the main point
but the
was,
point I'm making, is about correlation.
Yes, and I would have mentioned that. You have to let me make the fucking case and shut your fucking mouth so I can go through everything.
But you're talking about something else. You're talking about something I'm not talking about.
No, you interrupted me and didn't let me complete explaining
returns,
it.
And
you're
I'm not
full of
talking
shit.
about returns. I'm talking about correlation.
Yes, but I was going to say that the main point was that you were making the point about correlation. Let me finish the whole thing and then you respond, not interrupting me, okay? So you make this graph about the correlation. You have the returns of many different price coins on the graph to demonstrate that they are all moving up. And then you say merge dominance, LOL. Every single coin just tracking Bitcoin, basically. And then
completely factually correct.
Let me finish. Let me finish going through.
Completely factually correct.
You're not letting me finish go through. I'll have to fucking mute you if you don't let me finish go through for 2 minutes and then you respond, okay? And then I respond and say, look at BCH BTC, look at ETH BTC, and look at XRP BTC.
So you're immediately talking about something I'm not even talking about.
And my point, no. And so I say, look at how. And my point here is look at how the coins are performing versus BTC. So it's not just tracking.
Yeah, that's your point.
They are outperforming. And then look how you respond. I made a totally rational,
because you're
fucking reasonable point. No, I made a rational, reasonable point that I say, look,
do you not get
they
that?
outperform.
Do you not get
and
that?
You respond like an emotional bitch and you say, yes, of course. Oh, if you have a penny stock, it will outperform many. They'll pump harder. What, you just figured this out? You have this big bitchy attitude when I make a fucking reasonable point about something in the market that they're outperforming and not just tracking.
Listen,
and then I say,
you just fucking
so you make it, and then in your response you say that it's a penny stock, and I say these are top 5 market cap coins. They have the same orditude of magnitude value. So why would ETH be a penny stock when it is worth almost half of Bitcoin? And then you respond and you say, blah 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 blah. Is this not glaringly obvious to you? Maybe you're high. I'm gonna go outside and do gardening. So you're insulting twice already, while I did not insult you once. You already said, "Oh, you just figured this out," like a little passive-aggressive bitch, and then you said, "Oh, what's your high?" And all I was doing was making points, responses related to the fucking content. And so you're already aggressing twice.
No, you're
so you're already
wrong.
aggressing twice. And then I, at that point, say, okay, fuck this little bitch. I'm going to start
Okay. Well, when you let me fucking respond to anything at all you've said without just being a fucking monologue, then we can have a discussion. Because right now, it's just a fucking monologue.
Yeah, well, you know what? I have to fucking lay out how aggressive you were before I made any aggressive response. Because then... You're
completely factually incorrect. That's your problem.
Because then
you're completely
after that,
incorrect.
No, because then after that, I said, all right, I laid out the exact returns. BTC USD only 10% up. Bcash up 50%. ETH up 25%.
Listen. There's a thing in arguments. It's called the premise. It's like your foundation of where you built from, and where you're building from is a position that is factually incorrect. So
I'm building. I've already laid out clearly that you were aggressive twice.
Anything
you made
say from that
maybe
point
3
on
aggressive
is completely
points.
utterly irrelevant. It has no relevancy.
Flibbr, the relevant point here is you're super butthurt. You didn't ride any of the other coins for better returns. You've been sitting in BTC alone,
I don't even
not
know why you keep
fucking
saying that.
riding it up, and you're just butthurt, and so you just get aggressive when anybody points it out, and then you get aggressive, I get aggressive back, and then you cry like a bitch, saying I'm too aggressive.
Okay.
I'm calling you out, motherfucker.
Okay, when you let me talk, I mean, maybe I'll respond to something. Okay, so firstly, let me take it through. I said I posted a screenshot from CoinMarketCap just showing the charts of, like, you know, all the coins, and as usual, every single chart looks exactly the fucking same. Yeah, some, you know, like minor discrepancy, like some, you know, like have a higher high or a lower low, but in general, they all fucking look the same, because they do. And I said my dominance because they are all just tracking Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes up, they all start fucking going up. And if Bitcoin goes down, they all start going down. That's the point I'm making. And that's exactly what I said. That's all I fucking said, right? And then you then said, look at BCH BTC and ETH BTC. So you're then talking about whether something is going up faster than Bitcoin. You're talking about
Define tracking.
returns.
Define tracking, Flibbr. What does tracking mean?
What in what context? Who said what about tracking?
You said all the other coins are just tracking BTC. What does just tracking mean?
It means that they are just, you know, kind of like highly correlated to whatever the Bitcoin chart is doing.
But they're going up way higher. How is that highly correlated? They're way higher. That's what fucking
because there's no dirt. I mean, you can keep making funny noises all you want. There's no dirt. Just because they are going up higher or coming down harder,
that literally means the correlation is not as high.
No, it doesn't, because you can.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Do you know what a correlation means?
Do you not see the picture?
You know what tracking means? Tracking means correlation, okay? You made a fucking wrong point and you got wrecked on it, and then you just got defensive when I approached you with the data.
I completely disagree.
Just tracking implies a high correlation. When one coin is going up much higher versus the other coin going up, the correlation is not as tight as if they were going up the same percentage. Do you want me to show you how to calculate the correlation, Flibbr?
No, I don't, because what I'm saying is, very simply, if Bitcoin goes up, all the coins will go up. And if Bitcoin goes down, all the coins go down. And that is factually completely fucking correct every fucking time, right? That's all I'm saying.
Not every time, but recently it has been common, yes.
Yeah, recently for the last 5 years, yeah. It's been like that.
I mean, come on, day to day, you know it's changed.
Of course, you're going to get some minor variation, you know, just variance in the chart. Of course, that's just to be expected. But in general, that's how it works, you know. And so that's all I was talking about. And you were talking about these BTC pairs as a way of illustrating, you know, has this coin gone up more in dollar value relative to what Bitcoin has? Right? That's
not just dollar, Flibbr. I pointed out that BTC, they were up also in terms much higher.
Yes, but
that means they're not just tracking, they are outperforming. Not just tracking.
Oh my god.
Outperforming, not just tracking.
Yes, but by showing them over the BTC pair, what you're actually showing is, you know, by resolution, is that they have outperformed Bitcoin on the dollar pair. Basically, right? You with me there?
What the fuck are you? Okay. You even just say that?
Because you're talking about
absolute nonsense, man. What the fuck?
No, because we're talking about Bitcoin dollar, right? And then we're talking about these.
Did anybody understand what Flibbr just said there somewhere? But please translate what that shit he just said was to English, because I didn't understand.
What I'm saying is the percentage dollar gains on the other coins is gone up more, and that is what is being shown in the BTC chart, that they have grown in their dollar valuation, you know, more than what Bitcoin has. Right?
Yeah, but you said more dominance, meaning you were mocking.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm talking about relative value. You were mocking that relative value doesn't mean shit, and you said they were just tracking BTC. I said, you know what, the relative value is actually different here, and they're not just tracking but outperforming. I countered both of the points you made there.
it's really difficult to like make the most simple point.
You don't have a
when-
point.
when-
You clearly don't have a point
No,
because you're trying to
No,
rearrange what you
oh
said.
my god! Look, if you're gonna be like this, you should just shut up because you're humiliating yourself.
Okay.
Or any lay person will understand exactly what I'm talking about, which
Okay.
is exactly what I posted. The screenshot of all the charts looking exactly the fucking same and just saying.
But
every
it's not
single
exactly
point
the same,
tracks Bitcoin.
Flibbr. You said exactly the same. I said outperformed. It's actually returning better if you are in the other coins. That's the fucking relevant point.
Swapman.
How is it just tracking and exactly the same when it's better?
Listen.
Your point is invalid.
Wait, listen. Who mentioned outperform?
I did, because you were insisting they were exactly the same and just tracking.
Thank you. So, did I mention that at all?
You mentioned that they were exactly the same and just tracking. When I say they are not just tracking and not just the same because it's actually outperforming, I'm countering your point.
Right.
That's how arguments work, dumbass.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I said.
And you lost the argument. So just sit down and fucking go into your cock garden and do whatever the fuck you want to do because you're wrong.
I haven't even been able to like adequately reply because you're just being this ranting, belligerent fucking idiot right now. Listen, all I said is that these altcoins, they're just tracking what Bitcoin does. Bitcoin goes up, they go up. Bitcoin goes down, they go down.
It's not, and my point was that not just tracking.
Hang on.
It's outperforming.
What? Look, we can't get through the fucking discussion if we can't get through the first fucking point.
Okay, sorry, I'll let you go. Okay.
This is
fair,
really
that's fair.
fucking
Okay.
simple.
Okay, I'll let you continue. Sorry.
Yeah, and that's all I fucking said. All I said is just they're tracking Bitcoin. And you said, oh, but you pointed out these other ones. And you said, look at them. And I said, why? And the reason why I said why is because you wanted me to look at them to see what had outperformed Bitcoin. Right? That's why you posted them. And I said, why? Because the reason why I said why is because why are they relevant to what I'm saying? Because to me, they're not relevant to what I'm saying. What I'm saying is Bitcoin goes up, they go up, Bitcoin goes down, they go down. That's what I'm saying. So whether they outperform Bitcoin or not is not relevant to what I'm saying. That's why I said why. And you then said, oh, they've all outperformed Bitcoin. Now this wasn't anything to do with what I was saying. But I did, be respectful and courteous and say, and just reiterate why they would be outperforming Bitcoin. And the reason is, if Bitcoin gets, this all this capital, draws all this money in or whatever, and you've got a shitcoin with a fucking $100,000 penny stock, then there's so much money floating in Bitcoin, you can just pump, millions and millions and millions coming to Bitcoin. You can just pump 1 million into the penny stock, and boom, it's gone up as Bitcoin's gone up. It's probably gone up a lot more because it's lower market cap. So as that money flows in, it's just going to pump it up harder. I just explained this, but from there on in, I'm just engaging you in your discussion that you wanted to talk about, and it wasn't the point I was making at all. And then you went, and then we had a little discussion about it, and then I told you, I said. Yeah, they're all just tracking Bitcoin. And then you proceeded to go on again about returns, which is nothing I even mentioned. Yeah.
What does define tracking Bitcoin? When you say something is just tracking, and you say more dominance.
This is it. I'll define it for you. When Bitcoin goes up, all the other coins go up. When Bitcoin goes down, all the other coins go down.
No, these coins were, but that's not how it worked. On this week, the run up in the altcoins was preceding and happening without BTC moving. That's the whole point. It wasn't tracking. It was the other way around.
I mean, quite often, a low.
So you're wrong.
I don't know. Well, I don't know if this is new to you. I don't know if this is like a realization that you've only just come across and you haven't yet rationalized why it is the way it is. But yeah, sometimes lower volume, lower liquidity coins will preempt, what Bitcoin's going to do. Like quite often.
Yeah. So BTC is not just tracking. That's the whole point. The point you made was wrong, Flibbr.
No. They are tracking Bitcoin.
They're not, because the coins went up irrespective of Bitcoin. That's the point.
Well, no, because the reason why they went up is because they saw that Bitcoin found support wasn't going down anymore and was building strength to go up. And because they're lower liquidity and lower market cap, when people say, "Oh, well, I think Bitcoin is going to hold this support here and this floor and it's going to go up." Now, when you do that in Bitcoin, it's going to take many, many millions and millions of dollars to,
whatever. This is a separate discussion.
No, well,
this is irrelevant to the point.
No, because
it's totally
irrelevant.
irrelevant.
Completely irrelevant. This is completely. Look, if you can't understand why this is completely relevant, I mean, are you fucking oblivious to what you're seeing on the fucking charts? I mean,
no.
So say you start doing exactly the same process in some altcoins. That have, say, like Ripple, 3, 6, 9, 12, fucking 15, 5 times smaller market. So say with way less volume, right? Say you start doing the same process that you're doing in Bitcoin as you are in Ripple. Because you're doing it in a much lower liquidity coin, when you start doing that, because the books are thinner and there's much less volume, it's going to be a lot more reactive.
I know all of this. None of this is relevant. I know all of this. What are you talking about?
Because I'll tell you. Because you're saying, oh, they started going up before. It's like, yeah, of course, because they have.
I'm saying this week,
Flibbr.
I'm saying this week the play has been on alts. That's what I'm saying. Is that this is one of those weeks where there's been a better play in alts because they've outperformed BTC. Normally, yes, BTC is the king and is leading all the others like a bitch. This week, the play was different. That was the only point I'm making, Flibbr. And the fact you're reacting so defensively indicates you did not make that play, and that's why you're just acting like an asshole.
Swapman, you're talking about this, the plays in alts this week and all this shit. And
it's true.
Objectively,
you get a better return. It's objectively true, Flibbr. Stop fucking around.
I'm not fucking around. But the point I'm making is that I'm not talking about that. And I never.
Yeah, you kind of were. When you say
that.
just tracking, Flibbr, you're opening up the discussion about, okay, what's the better place to put your money? And as traders, we need to fucking look at the reality of where the better returns are. And if you can't accept that reality, you're the one that's being delirious.
Okay, well, you're really fucking, clawing at fucking anything you can get right now.
Oh, come on. Don't be such a baby.
No, I'm not
look, come on.
I mean, if you're gonna just start fucking going, like this, I mean, this is no discussion. But no, I haven't mentioned anything about returns and all this stuff. I never mentioned anything about that. I've never mentioned anything
tracking about anything. You never mentioned anything. You said they are just tracking BTC.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah,
that's a fucking statement about the performance of the coins relative to each other. Come on, why are you being such a bitch? Stand by what you said. Stand by what you said.
Yeah, because I'm talking about them tracking
the returns, of course. You're talking about the tracking of returns.
I'm not talking about returns.
Oh my god!
Look at the.
Can someone else
that I posted?
Can someone else explain how they understand tracking?
No. Because I have to.
Am I the crazy one here? What does tracking mean when you talk about prices? Am I the crazy one?
Listen, I have to go in 10 minutes. But look, if you look at the chart I posted and the charts on CoinMarketCap, there is no axis on the X or Y. All it is a line in a box. That's all it is. I'm not talking about the percentage returns on the Y axis. I'm not talking about that at all. That's not even on the chart. All I'm doing is looking at, are they massively correlated to fucking what Bitcoin's doing? Yes, because the word, I don't know why you got such a fucking.
That's basic bitch, Flibbr. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how this week there has been a unusual outperformance in alts. That's the remarkable point to make in the discussion about tracking between prices.
Yes, and
so why are you so upset about that discussion?
Okay, I'm not upset about.
I can't make that point without you saying, you just figured that out,
dude. I'm not upset about that discussion. I'm not, it's a great thing to talk about, and I've been talking about it.
Then why do you react like this?
React like what?
Look at how you responded. Look at the screenshot. You said, "What? You just figured it out." You mentioned pumping harder, lower cap, and then you said, "What? You just figured this out."
It's like it's like you've only
Passive
just come
aggressive.
to the. It's like you've only. It's like.
And then you say, "I'm high" in the next one. You say, "What? You're high and delirious."
Yes, because.
Oh, you need to insult twice on this discussion?
Well, it's like, have you only just come to the realization that, you know, if Bitcoin goes up, lower market cap shitcoins will go up?
That's not
you know,
the realization.
fucking...
This week there was an interesting deviation from the norm where the alts were outperforming on many days. That's the fucking point.
Well, if you said this week is a very interesting correlation, is a very interesting break in the correlation between performance in BTC over others, yeah, that would also be an interesting point.
That's what I basically said. I pointed to the BTC quote prices of the different coins.
But this isn't what you said. What you actually keep doing is just referring to me about percentage gains, which I have no problem
to make the point exactly about the interesting. What the hell?
Yeah,
you're crazy, Flibbr. You're fucking crazy.
Yeah, but this happens all the time. I mean, when Bitcoin when we were going down, you know, fucking what's the name? Like all the altcoins went right back to the fucking bottom of the bottom.
Yeah, sometimes they track.
Harder.
Sometimes they track very well. Sometimes there's a break from the tracking, like this week. So when you say LOL just tracking, LOL market dominance.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Go get some fucking meds from the doctor. Have some Xanax.
Meds from the doctor.
Fucking hell, dude. Yeah. When Bitcoin was going down, they were, you know, altcoins die really fucking hard. They die harder. When Bitcoin is down, they fucking die harder. And when Bitcoin goes up, they fucking pump harder.
When did I say this is?
What I'm saying is, they're just, as per exactly what I said in my comment, they're more volatile. Why are they more volatile? Because they have lower liquidity. They're lower market caps.
Yeah, what's your point?
The price more. Well, my point is that this wasn't even anything to do with what I was fucking talking about.
It was.
That's my fucking point.
You were saying this. What you were saying they were just tracking BTC, but they were outperforming. Yes. So you're wrong.
You're talking. No, I'm not fucking wrong.
You are fucking wrong. They're not just tracking BTC.
Oh my god, dude! When Bitcoin was going up, right? What were altcoins doing?
Usually they are just tracking.
Two words.
This week they were not.
Two words. When Bitcoin was going up, what were the altcoins doing?
Normally they are just tracking. Look, they're normally just tracking.
This is really fucking simple. This is so fucking simple. November, the whole fucking time, Bitcoin's going up.
Flibbr,
wait a second.
No, you posted a 7-day chart, Flibbr. You posted a 7-day chart. Talk about 7 days. I was remarking about the past 7 days has not been tracking.
Fucking view on fucking thing. Look. When Bitcoin goes up, what do the altcoins do? Go up. When Bitcoin starts going down, what are the altcoins?
You posted a 7-day chart, Flibbr.
Look,
you posted a 7-day chart.
I said the other day.
7-day chart.
I said the other day.
You posted a 7-day chart. The past 7 days they have not been tracking. There's been a deviation where alts have outperformed.
They're tracking it fucking spot on.
No, they're outperforming. They're not tracking spot on. They're outperforming.
Yeah, you can talk about them outperforming all you want, but the performance of them is not relevant to what I'm talking about. As I said per my Y comment in Telegram, and as I have repeatedly iterated here, the performance aspect of them is not relative to what I'm saying. Look, if some fucking stock in if Bitcoin goes up, right, and then EOS, Litecoin, Cardano, Stellar, all these other ones go up, they may go up fucking 10, 100, whatever times more, but they still are tracking the Bitcoin up move, right? That's what I'm talking about.
No, it's not just, when you say just tracking, you are minimizing the returns that are happening in the others relative to BTC. When you mock dominance,
the returns.
No. Anybody can look in Dojo and see what he said and see how you interpret what he said. And I'm sure.
How can you not understand that? How
When
can
you
not
say when you mock
understand
the
that-
Flibbr, in one message you say you're mocking the dominance, and then the second message you are saying
yes,
that it's just tracking.
yes,
Any
I am.
reasonable person
I
would
am.
take that to say that you are saying that they are only performing at the same level.
Okay,
I am only
no.
pointing out that alts are outperforming in this particular 7-day period, which you posted the graph representing. I am 100% agreeing with you, Flip. I 100% agree. BTC leads alts. BTC definitely leads alts most of the time. Obviously, the king fucking leads, but this was a weird week where it's different. That was the only point. If you can't take that point, like logically and rationally, that's your problem. Because none of the stuff you said, I disagree with. None of that stuff you said about how BTC normally leads, none of that I disagree with whatsoever. That's true, 100%.
The point I was making is that that had nothing to do with what I was fucking talking about.
It did though. No. You're backing out.
Because, like I said the other day, I'm not backing out anything. I'm just reiterating.
Stand by what you said, Flibbr.
I'm standing by what I said, which was the first fucking comment when he said, "Look at the BTC pairs," and I said, "Why?" That's me saying why this isn't fucking relevant to what I'm talking about. Just like I said, every time I've fucking been on here talking to you, it's not just like I said the other day. When Bitcoin catches a cold, the rest of the market, when Bitcoin sneezes, the rest of the market catches a fucking cold. Okay, what I'm talking about is they just follow Bitcoin sentiment. Bitcoin is bullish, they're all bullish. Bitcoin is bearish, they're all fucking bearish. You haven't got to be a fucking rocket scientist to know that this is the fucking reality. When people say, "Oh, Bitcoin's dominance," Bitcoin's dominance is so fucking strong that when it goes up, they all go up, and when it goes down, they all go down. That's the point I'm making. I'm not making any point about percentage returns.
Most of the time that's true. You're right. Most of the time it does just follow. But the point that was valid to have for the discussion, at least for traders to observe, is that there's often times where the return in the alts outperforms, and there's good opportunities that in the right conditions to look out for when you can actually get better returns if you are just jumping into some of these other coins. So yeah, most of the time what you're saying is true, but in this case it's an anomaly that's interesting to learn something from, right?
Hello. Can you help? Can you hear me, guys?
BitMuffin, shut up.
Hello.
Right, anyway, I've got to go.
Excuse me, gentlemen. If I may resolve this, I've been listening to you, and it's really been doing my head in. I'm a professional options trader. You used to trade volatility and correlation trades. If you'd like to just clear this matter up. Hello.
Well, I mean, BitMuffin, to be honest, I mean, the fact that you're a professional options trader doesn't actually mean much to me, but
it indicates that you likely agree with me and not him.
No, because I have my own opinion as to like what I'm talking about. I mean,
your opinion overrides mathematics. Yeah, Flibbr.
It's not the mathematics.
May I make a point, gentlemen? May I make a point?
BitMuffin, go on, go for it.
Thank you very much. Now, what you were saying about correlation and
Was it me or did he just cut out?
I think he killed himself.
Swapman Bucklow is downstairs. Do you remember Bucklow?
Oh, that kid.
Bucklow?
BitMuffin, we can't hear you.
Well, that was anticlimactic.
I was expecting a major revelation.
Yes,
have to go out in like 5 minutes.
He was going to say that we're both wrong.
Yeah.
He's got the magic formula to show us what the truth is.
He was going to say, go on, BitMuffin, hurry up.
Hello, I've got a problem with my microphone here. But the issue is that tracking in the professional terms is going in the same direction. Correlation is when a number of different securities also go in the same direction. Whether they go more or less is not an issue. That's a question of volatility. All right?
So what you're saying is I'm completely right in everything I said. Thank you very much, BitMuffin.
The magnification of the actual trades is a question of volatility. If something trades 40% or 20% in a day, then the 40% one is a more volatile stock. The 20% one is a less volatile stock. Correlation is direction. All right. Correlation goes from 0 to 1. So
Thank you.
The correlation
calm
that you
down now,
measure
lads.
from no, the correlation the correlation
listen,
that you measure from 0 to 1 indicates the degree to which they are matching.
No, it's a question of statistics. The more stocks in a basket go in a direction of the index. So, for example, if you're talking FTSE or 100 stocks,
no, but you're not.
If they all go in the same direction, that's a correlation of 1.
Are you looking at the dojo picture? That's not. It's not an index. It's not a question of index. It's
no.
This is a question
The
of
other gentleman is talking about Bitcoin itself as an index. And the point is that in these scenarios, Bitcoin functions as an index. All the others function as in relative to that index. All the altcoins.
Thank you.
It's obvious to anybody who does look at the actual markets and the volumes that are traded that the Bitcoin itself has, relative to all the other altcoins, massive volume. That means that there are lots.
So does Ether and XRP. I don't think you've shown
and it also has a huge. It also has a huge market cap. If you're looking at something like, I don't know, pick an altcoin. Most of them have market caps of under 1 billion. That means if you put $10 million into one of those, then that's going to have an enormous.
Exactly.
It's going to have an enormous effect on the market. That's going to give it much more volatility, right? Whereas if you put 10 million into Bitcoin, it's going to have diddly squat impact on the actual market. That is why. All right? And that is why. Sorry, guys, I keep getting confused by these notifications of user joining this channel. It's really annoying.
You can disable.
How do I do that?
You go self. If you're on Windows, you go to self, sound pack, disable. And while you're doing that, I would just like to reiterate, BitMuffin, you have clarified a lot of what I said. You know, Bitcoin as an index, the volatility. It is a question of statistics. Swapman is completely fucking wrecked and devastated. And
no,
this
it's
isn't
semantics.
A question about,
BitMuffin isn't. Hold on, no.
No, this is a question of statistics.
It's
and
semantics.
So
no. When you have no.
Get your tail between your legs and fucking. You know, fucking
this is a
semantics.
No, a tighter correlation.
Just calm down.
No, BitMuffin is choosing to disentangle volatility as a component, but when the point is that when you
that's
have
what I was
something
talking about.
When you have something that goes up 1% and another thing that goes up 1% along with it, that correlation is tighter than if you have one that goes up 10% along with the other. This is a fact of mathematics. So if BitMuffin is only just choosing to disentangle the volatility component, he's using semantics. It's only semantics.
Did you fail? What part of statistics did you fail?
It's
correlation
semantics.
Is 0 to 1. BitMuffin, carry on telling Swapman fucking.
Correlation is not binary. It's
sorry. Semantics is a question of language and linguistics, and that's useful for literature. When you're talking trading, you need mathematics and statistics. No, that's what we're talking about here.
BitMuffin, you're wrong. It's not a binary.
No. I'm not wrong, mate. You really are. Don't know what you're talking about. Okay, I've been doing this for 20 years.
0 to 1. You're saying it's 0 to 1, but the correlation is stronger when the returns are equal, not when one outperforms. And this week, alts have outperformed. Okay, and there's been serious volume.
Yes, and do you know why that is? It's because money flows into Bitcoin as the entry point into all the other altcoins. Therefore, people buy Bitcoin and then they sell Bitcoin to buy Ripple and all the other shit, all right? So that's when they sell Bitcoin in order to buy the other stuff. That puts downward pressure on Bitcoin. Please don't shout. It's really hurt.
5 times greater returns in BCH than BTC, okay? That is not...
Yes, look at the market cap of it. It's got way less than 5 times less market cap.
It's the same direction, but the correlation is not as strong as you are indicating. Correlation is not just 0-1, it's a spectrum. It's mathematical. You are trying to inject semantics into the discussion by saying volatility is somehow separate and irrelevant. You are wrong.
Don't shout at him, please.
No, he's wrong. He's trying to shout and he needs to be told he's wrong because he's wrong. One-to-one correlation is different than one that has different... Correlation is not.
Don't shout at him because he's completely right, and he's basically come in and said exactly what I've said, and he you know this is why he's talking about the money. Bitcoin is the entry point. That's what comes in, and then it flows to the others. And we're talking about the market cap size, and that's why I said to you in the message, I was like, is this like you only? Just,
Yeah, those
like,
things are all
you're fucking
relevant. No,
obvious.
no, no. The market cap
BitMuffin.
size, those things are separate discussions about
I
the
have to go.
general correlation. The general correlation over time, you're right. But the specific discussion here is that you posted a 7-day chart. In the
Yes,
past 7 days,
No,
the
I
norm has
wasn't
been
talking about
broken.
returns.
Listen,
I
no,
wasn't talking about
no, no.
returns.
In the 7-day chart you posted, the norm where the tracking is really reliable and the correlation is really
wasn't-
strong,
the-
the
my
norm was
post-
broken. Shut up.
Oh my
The
God.
norm
My
was
post
broken.
contained nothing
Shut
about
up. The
returns.
norm was broken because there was outperformance in the other top coins. That was the point I was making. You guys are
Yes,
trying to
the
dig
point you
around
were
and
making
redefine
was nothing-
tracking and redefine
No,
correlation
Swapman,
to fit your
point-
narrative. It's absolute bullshit.
The point you're making is nothing to do with the point I said, which is, as BitMuffin said, using Bitcoin as an index and what is tracking it. I mentioned nothing about returns. I didn't
Yes,
even.
you did.
It didn't
Tracking
even,
indicates the degree of returns, not just the direction.
On the charts,
It's
posted. On the charts I posted, there is no percentage axis. There is no the axis actually on the chart is actually, as BitMuffin said, it's actually 0 to 1, 0 at the bottom of the chart and 1 at the top of the chart. That is what I posted. It was about correlation and tracking, nothing to do with percentage returns. But BitMuffin, thank you for coming in. It's been an absolute pleasure to hear off a professional such as yourself.
You were just talking shit to him before he was about to say it when you thought he was going to disagree with you, and now he agrees with you, and you're lauding him like a king.
I've made him priority speaker.
Oh, that's great. But anyway, the point is, objectively, the other coins have outperformed this week, which is unusual, which has been an interesting play this week. If traders have decided to jump into XRP, BCH, or ETH, and instead of overweight on BTC, they've outperformed the market pretty well. So that's been a nice trade. Anybody this week who's been doing that trade, congratulations! It's been a really nice, position to be in this week.
And Swapman, I would just like to say thank you for coming on. It has been an absolute, I really, appreciate you coming on, because it took a lot of balls to come on and get your.
I always accept the challenge, Flibbr.
Thank you for being such a graceful loser.
I always
and thank you, BitMuffin, as well. Okay, I seriously have to go though.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Oh, you British are so polite to each other at the end.
I mean, you've got to be respectful of somebody who comes on, has a fair discussion. Anyway, absolutely. I really must go. Okay,
absolutely.
Bye.
See you, man.
The Americans would be like, "Well, fuck you." Well, fuck you too.
Absolutely amazing, like both of them.